Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ruff here, bringing you the Reaper opening for Terran for hotkeyit.com. Now, there are a variety of different Reaper openings, which is why the Reaper opening is a very strong build, primarily against Zerg and Terran opponents. Usually against Protoss, you would not do a Reaper opening because of Stalkers and how fast they can get them out. But here I'm going to show you basically how to use the Reaper opening against Terran or Zerg. The very first game is just going to be the build order that I'm going to show you. It's going to be a very standard fast expand build for this video, or this part of the video. So what you do is you're going to build your first supply depot at 1011. You know, very standard right now. When you expand, normally the timing for the expansion is going to be around 4 minutes, so keep that in mind. The idea for getting the Reaper out in the beginning is basically just to scout or harass immediately and try to get some information on your opponent on what they might be doing while you're expanding. That's what makes this build very useful, because you can find out if they're teching and respond to it, or you can find out if they're fast expanding themselves and maybe just macro up even higher and not get as many bunkers or defense up. But yeah, that's just basically the idea behind the Reaper opening, which makes it really nice. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put down your barracks at about 11 or 12:19, okay? And your refinery goes down at 13:19, as you can see here. And as soon as the refinery finishes, you want to put 2 more SCVs on it so that it's fully saturated. And you're just going to leave it like that the entire time. You're not going to pull any SCVs off. This allows you to get that tech lab immediately once the barracks finishes, as you can see. And right when the barracks finishes, you get the tech lab and the orbital at the exact same time. And after that's done, you can use that same SCV that just finished the barracks to make another supply depot, as you can see here. As soon as the barracks finishes with the tech lab, you can go ahead and get a Reaper out, which is usually around like 17:19. You start building that Reaper, or 16:19. Depends on if you cut that SCV for the orbital real quickly or not. And then you can usually just go ahead and scout right after your second supply depot is finished. That's usually the best time to scout against a Zerg player. I prefer scouting at that time primarily because your Reaper's not going to get out anyways, so there's no rush to try to do any kind of bunker pressure or something on the Zerg. Because if you try to build a bunker too soon and the Reaper doesn't follow up, then 99% of the time your SCV is going to die. So as you can see here, at about, I want to say 19:27, you put down your command center at 4 minutes. And what you can do after that is, it's completely up to you what you want to do. As you can see, I'm trying to put some pressure on the Zerg here by doing a little bit of bunker pressure, killing a few drones, and just harassing a little bit, keeping them from mining from the natural while you're able to saturate on your main. So if you can do this to the Zerg opponent, then economically it is better than a gasless expand. So if you're interested in gasless expands, you can check out my other video. But here, this is what's really nice about the Reaper expand. You can get information, you can harass, and you can do just about anything off of it. As you can see here, after you expand, you can either go into like bio or mech play, or even get air play. In this video I'm doing air play, as you can see, because of how many gases I'm getting immediately. So that's just an idea of how to do a fast expand with a Reaper opening. Now normally what you want to do, especially against Zerg opponents, is you want to get that wall off. It's very important when you're doing a Reaper opening. And you always want to put a bunker up just in case, especially if you're not expanding. Now in this video I'm going to show you a different kind of Reaper opening, where you're just going to open up and In this video, I'm going to open up with 3 Reapers and expand. Now, normally people can just do 1 Reaper and then a couple Marines and expand, or they can do 3 Reaper expand. So it really depends on how you feel, what you like best. The 3 Reaper expand is a little dangerous against like cheeses like Marauders or Roaches, but against Terran opponents 90% of the time you're okay because they don't do a Marauder cheese. So you always have to scout for that in the beginning. Now what's nice about the 3 Reaper expand compared to just a normal Reaper expand is that you can pretty much expand anywhere on the map successfully. What I mean by that is instead of taking your natural base, you could take, for instance, a gold base, maybe even a base across the map that nobody knows about, and still be successful because you could put a bunker up just about anywhere and get those Reapers across the map pretty easily to reinforce. So as you can see here, I decided to take the gold in this matchup, and usually when you do a 3 Reaper expand, it's pretty safe if you're not taking your natural to go bio, because if you try to go mech, mech is just a little too slow when you're dealing with tanks and Thors to get to other bases. So by using the Reapers, you can defend just about any kind of opening against Terran. Normally you want to do this 3 Reaper opening against a Terran player, not so much a Zerg player. You can against a Zerg player, but normally what most Terran players do is they normally go with only 2 Reapers maximum when doing any kind of Reaper harass against Zerg. So like I said, as you can see here, just kind of expanding, taking that gold base. You can always take a 3rd base instead, like on Shakuris with this build as well. Kind of just put a bunker up. You always want to put whenever you take a base, you want to put the bunker up by a choke point. That way, if you do get attacked or get scouted, you can move the Reapers over and put them in the bunker, because the bunker with Reapers in it is really good. So the idea is just to have map control when you're doing the 3 Reaper opening, or even sneak in their base once in a while. So as you can see here, there's going to be situations where you're going to get rushed, and when you get rushed, normally you want to pull SCVs to attack. So as you can see here, by pulling SCVs, you might lose a couple, but in the end, economically, you're going to be ahead regardless if you engage correctly, as you can see. And by going bio, it's a little safer than trying to tech up, especially if you're about to get cheesed or something. So if you know that you're getting pressured too much, you can always put up more than 1 bunker, and that will usually stop most attacks against, well, from either a Zerg or Terran opponent when doing any kind of Reaper expand. So in this part of the video, I'm going to be showing you how to do other builds with the Reaper opening. So here, instead of doing a standard Reaper opening, I'm putting down a 2nd barracks. Now, because the standard Reaper expand is so famous with any kind of Zerg or Terran matchup, the Terran opponents that see the tech lab immediately start to think, okay, you know, I think this guy is going to get a Reaper out, and he's more than likely going to expand 70% of the time. And so that's the kind of idea that most of the Terran players get. So as you can see, even though I put down that other barracks in my base, because I moved that SCV to my front, even though I didn't have the minerals to kind of make that supply depot, it was kind of making them think, oh, I want to save this SCV. I don't want to scout all the way. And I'm just going to go ahead and assume that he's going to expand. And by doing that, you can really throw your opponents off. So in this situation, instead of doing a normal expand, I'm kind of doing a delayed expand to get more Reapers out to kind of do heavy damage against my opponent. So if you do some kind of unorthodox builds like these, you can see that using that Reaper opening can give you a really heavy advantage when attacking your opponent. So I highly recommend just to play around with the builds, with the Reaper opening, kind of get a feel for it, and try to find something that works best for you. So here's another instance where you can abuse the Reaper opening without really worrying about expanding and kind of giving your opponent the impression that you are going to expand. So in this situation, I grab another gas and I'm going for a little heavier pressure, which will be like a Hellion Reaper medevac pressure, which is kind of good against most Zerg opponents. And while you're doing that, you can still do the normal harass, try to get that bunker up, and kind of throw that Zerg opponent off guard, especially when when they think that you might be expanding. So by doing that, you can see here just kind of building up, doing whatever you want with this build, giving them the impression that you're going to expand and just kind of abusing that fact. So this is why the Reaper opening is a really, really nice opening, because it allows you to harass, allows you to throw your opponent off guard, and allows you to do pretty much whatever you want. Whether it's expand or tech up, or do anything kind of unorthodox to throw your opponent off. Well, that's it for this video, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the forum, and thanks for watching.